Elaine is not only a beauty pageant winner, she was Miss Universe Malaysia 2003. In addition to that, she is also the national director of the Miss Universe Malaysia organization. And she is an actor par excellence. She's also a host. I've seen her anchor many live events as well. She's a fantastic presenter.
Wow, all the accolades.
There now she can hear me. All I needed
Now
to
I
do
can
was
hear.
start up with the accolades, and now she can hear me.
How are you, Nikki? Nice to see you.
I am good. It fills my heart with so much of excitement and joy just to be able to connect with you. After a few
I
years, I
know.
think it's been a while.
Yeah, but I follow you on Instagram. I've seen your updates. I know what you're up to, and it's really wonderful being able to talk to you again. And for you to
Yes,
use this
I know. And
platform.
Elaine, I'm starting off my live series, and I could not think of anyone. I'll be very, very honest with you. I could not think of anyone else but you
Oh,
to just kickstart it, because we don't talk very often, but we've had a very, very strong friendship, which goes way back to
absolutely.
the Miss Universe days. And for everyone who's watching, this I'm going to call you girl because you don't look like a woman. You don't look like a woman to me. I know Elaine as a girl, my friend from way back when, and she's going to spill some beans, because whenever I talk to her, there is this one memory of mine which is completely etched in her mind. Elaine, go ahead.
Okay, well, Nikki, thank you again for having me. Gosh, that we go back 17 years. That was since we competed in Panama for Miss Universe, and we had this bond. It was I think it was you, it was me, it was Miss Japan, and it was Miss
Yeah,
Estonia, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
And I have this memory of you because you were so into your workouts. Um, and we couldn't really leave our floors to go to the gym, and you would run around the corridors just to get your cardio down. And I thought that was really cool. At that point in time, I was not into fitness, I was not into workouts, and I was like, what is this crazy girl doing? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know, because whenever we talk, there is this one memory that I have so generously gifted you, that's been etched in your mind forever. So I said, well, might as well give her the opportunity to spill the beans and just let everyone know, because yes, I was that fitness fanatic who would try to leave no opportunity. If I could get the opportunity to work out, I'd just go ahead and just take
yeah,
it. But
at 5 o'clock in the
people.
morning.
Well, like I said, right? Any opportunity that I could find. It also why I wanted to chat with you online is because you are someone who's from the beauty pageantry industry. In fact, you're also the national director of the Miss Universe Malaysia organization. So
Yeah,
there's obviously a lot of personal experience which you have being part of being a pageant winner, and taking your experience and then, of course, giving it to others as well. So
yeah,
you've been there, done that, right? So
yeah.
I wanted to just chat with you about a few things that seem to be either myths or misconceptions about beauty pageants, and who
Sure.
else but a pageant winner to discuss it with. The one thing that I don't like is the second you tell someone is a beauty pageant winner, the first joke that always comes up, oh, world peace. Oh, she's going to talk about world peace.
I know.
And for
We've
me
evolved
personally,
so much beyond that.
we have, right? But somehow there is still this typical mindset where people think they are mistaken, obviously, but they think that because we're beauty pageant winners, we're told to be prepared for an
Yeah.
answer which revolves around world peace, and
Okay.
that's all there is to it. Now, I personally know that there isn't, because for me, being a beauty pageant winner, being a Miss India, it's given me a platform, it's given me a pedestal, which then I've used for the necessarily need a platform. We are fortunate that we get one, and then we use it, and then we use it to actually do good for the society. This is not a question of blowing your own trumpet.
No,
or
no.
taking a loudspeaker and telling the whole world what good you're doing. It's not about that, but we've been given the opportunity, and it's just that the world gets to see it. So
Absolutely.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the pageant has definitely evolved, since
Mm.
our time and since the world peace time, it's just, I wouldn't say unfortunate, but it's just that it's edged in everybody's minds that, the moment you say beauty queen, it's world peace. It is world peace. We do want to have peace in the world, but I think the focus has evolved so much more than that. It's about empowering women. It's about focusing on backstories in life, in the girls' lives, and to give them a fantastic pedestal, as you said, for them to build on. And that's why I did the pageant. I mean, for me, it was a career move. I wanted to, people love titles, right? So, get a title, you live with it forever, and, you carry it with dignity and pride.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about world peace, as you said, it's much more than that. Yeah.
But I also think that the very fact that we are given this opportunity, where it's to do good for someone. Now that could be whether you're aligning yourself with a particular charitable organization, maybe
Yeah,
one,
I
maybe
do work.
more. I don't see what the problem really is. Even if you are wishing for world peace, for that matter, I don't see it as a problem. In fact, I see it as a beautiful and a
Okay.
wonderful
Yeah.
opportunity to, uh, you know, for you to actually step into that role, and
Mm.
whether it is to empower women, like you said, to empower a child, to empower society, even if you've touched one person's life with whatever it is that you've done. I
Yeah.
think that is something that you can hold your head up high with pride and dignity. You mentioned something about beauty pageants having been evolved. So how do you
Yeah.
think they've evolved? How do you think they've changed from our days, at least? But before you answer, there's this friend of mine who commented, and he said that both of you look like you're beauty pageant winners of 2020 rather than 2063.
Wow.
So that's so sweet, I think, isn't
I
it?
can't see
Well,
I
then
can't
thank you
see
for
the
that
comments,
comment.
but I mean you can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, how have we evolved? I mean, seriously, I tell the girls this all the time, it's not about putting a girl in a swimsuit anymore and putting her on stage. It's about her having a voice. It's about her being empowered, and for the pageant to empower her to do good, to be a role model to others.
Mm,
And that's how it's evolved. It's gone beyond just putting a girl in a bikini on stage. And I think that was even way before our time. I mean, the 50s, the 60s, and where beauty pageants were just considered as, a show of bevy of beauties, and that was it. It's much more than that now, especially now with Miss Universe and IMG taking over. It's a
mm,
lot to do with the backstories of the girls, how they have empowered, and how they have impacted their communities, their country, the people in their country. And um, I think that's key, especially in today's day and age, where beauty pageants are concerned. It's still very relevant, I think. A
mm.
lot of people ask me, do you think it's still relevant? And, in this day and age, you know, yes, it is. I mean, it still is a beauty pageant. Aesthetically, you still have to look the part, although now that has changed as well. I mean, we advocate a lot on, no body shaming, and there have been
True.
contestants, who are not the ideal size as what others perceive as the ideal size. They have competed as well. They have gotten into top 10, and yeah, and that's how it's evolved. It's so much more than just having a pretty face and a beautiful body. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Tell me, how did the national director, being the national director of the Miss Universe Malaysia organization, how did that happen? I'm sure it would have been a very smooth transition for you, being a pageant winner yourself. But just how did it happen? Is there a
Oh my
is there a
God.
story behind this?
Was there a story? No, I was asked to come and be a consultant for the Miss Universe Malaysia organization a couple of years ago, and then and then after that I got married and had babies. Um, and then after that, they said, okay, why don't you come back and run the pageant for us?
Mm,
And that's how
mm,
I did it. And I love it. I really, really enjoy running the Miss Universe Malaysia organization because, to me, it is about empowering girls' lives. And as cliche as it sounds, my motto in life, I want to make a difference in people's
mm.
lives. And if I can do that with the girls, why not? So that's how I became national director. And now we're preparing our 2020 girls. We still don't know whether we can have, we definitely can't have a big pageant this year
At
because
the moment. Mm.
of MCO, but we're probably talking about something streaming online live or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, online is of course the trend these days for very
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
How
There's
how are you
also
how are you
sorry.
coping with the MCO?
Uh, as best as I can by being as optimistic as I can, by trying to look at the positive side, because really, Elaine, there is no other side. Um,
Absolutely.
you there's even in your darkest moments, even in tragedy, really, honestly, that's what I personally believe, that there's always a ray of sunshine, and that's the one you hold on to till the
Yeah.
windows open and till the doors open, and till you can actually step out into the light.
You
That's
know,
just
I
what.
want I want to ask you a question. You've
Yeah.
always been so positive. How do you manage that all the time? I mean, from the time I've known you, you've been this energetic, bubbly, like, yeah, I'm ready to go, always kind of person. And till today, you're still this person. How do you manage that?
Elaine, honestly, I'll be very candid. I don't have to think about it. I really don't. It's just my upbringing. It's just my exposure. It's honestly, again, as cliche as it might sound, it's just what I've grown up with, the environment that I've grown up in. It's my parents. They've always taught me to be grateful, even in moments when you really think you're down and out. Even when you think you've hit rock bottom, I bounce back very quickly. Because
That's
that's just honestly
wonderful.
what I believe. I honestly believe that there is no other way. You
Yeah.
can't do it. You cannot live any other way rather than actually being positive, being honestly always grateful. I always look up to God. I know that there is a divine energy which is there, and it's guiding us. So that
Okay.
always has been my philosophy, and I'd like to see it through.
I can feel your energy coming through the screen. Gosh, I've
from
missed
one
you.
from one to the other.
Yeah.
One thing, you're also the channel director of Her TV. Is it Her? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, it's her.tv. It's
Her
a
TV.
channel we
Tafiqal Balis.
it's a channel that we started about 3 years ago, and it's very Malaysian skewed, it's very Malay based and youth centric.
Mm-hmm.
We've been churning out shows that we conceptualize from scratch, and it's been going well. It's been 3 years now since we've been doing that. So yeah, it's it's
Ah,
a
it's,
lot
it's
of it's a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
I can see that from your face, and I can see it by the way you talk about whatever it is, whatever endeavors you are currently pursuing. That there's a lot of passion to it, and I think without that, work would always be monotonous. Work would always seem like a
Absolutely. I
burden.
think the key thing is passion. You've got to really enjoy what you do. You've got to really love what you do. I mean, it shows in what you do as well, from the Instagram posts that you post up and stuff like that. You actually show that, you actually enjoy what you're doing. And I think that's super, super important.
There's no other way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way to be. Okay.
I must,
I
I must, I must tell all of you something. Nikita came to Malaysia. When did you come to Malaysia? I can't remember when.
I came in. I came in 2003 itself, and then I came Malaysia. In fact, KL is the one place that I visited the most since I won the pageant. But I came in 2003. I came in 2008 and seven, maybe in six as well. I've come like about 5, 6 times. So I love the place.
And you've stayed with me once, and that was
Yes,
really, really
yes.
good fun. Yeah, you stayed with me when I was still living with my parents.
Yes, I remember. Up to all kinds of antiques, right? I know it's been just so
Crazy.
much fun. But I will visit you again soon. But
You
before
have
that, you
to.
must come to India.
Okay, I will. I will do
There
that.
you go. There you go. I've got proof of this that Elaine said she will.
I will come to India to visit you. It's one
There
place I've
you
been
go.
meaning to come to.
Yeah.
It's been on my, top destination list for a long time now. So yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Elaine,
I
tell me
think,
one thing.
yeah.
I've been about a year and a half now. I've started something which is known as my own performance studio. So it's known as the Nikita
Okay.
Anand Performance Studio, where essentially what I do is I train people. I help anyone who wants to work in whether it's the entertainment industry, the events industry, anything glamour related. It's events, acting. Of course, movies comes in that as well. Ramp
Okay.
modeling, so fashion, so anything which is related, right? But even then, even if you're not part of any of these specific careers, even if it's just something that you want to do for yourself or from the
Yeah.
corporate line, basically anything to do with presentation and how you're presenting yourself
Hmm.
to put your best foot forward. Because
Yeah.
I realized that whether it's the music industry or someone from the events, um, there's always a big gap between
Hmm.
your academic learning, your academic education, and what you're actually putting out there by way of your work, and also what you want to put out there. But because you're so focused on your skill development, like you should be, but because you're
Yeah.
so focused on it, right, you and it's a blinkered view. For many it's a blinkered view, and you forget the peripherals, but which are actually pretty significant. Because
Hmm.
when you meet someone, they always say first impression is important. So what is that first impression? You need to give
Yeah.
someone that opportunity to first see you, be receptive to whatever it is that you're presenting them. Then you'll get the opportunity to impress someone with your skill, whether it's your communication or your work, um, or anything along those lines, right? So this is something that I've started. I have a feeling that since you were the
Congratulations.
founder of the Lead Up Asia, is it something similar?
It is. I was just about to
Ah,
say that to you. We focus a
okay.
lot on nonverbal communication skills, and you're right. With the academics that people have, the qualifications and the papers that people have, it's not enough sometimes. You need to learn the soft skills. You need to learn how to go for an interview. You need to learn how to, break that glass ceiling, and by honing your nonverbal communication skills,
Mm,
like grooming, and I'm sure that you teach these kind of things as well,
yeah,
grooming, confidence building, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're actually on the same page.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's great.
Great, great, great minds think alike.
Don't they now? This is great. We're just complimenting
So
ourselves.
how, so
Um,
how's that going?
it's actually going well. I realized that, for me, and also I'm assuming that the case would be the same for you. There are a lot of things that we take for granted because we already
Yes.
have this certain grooming that, we have been exposed to. There's also a certain mindset. Like for me, if you're presenting anything to anyone, even though you want it to be casual, it still needs to be crisp. People don't realize that. I'm just
Absolutely.
giving you
Yeah.
one example. You can't actually get out of bed and then want to present that to the rest of the world, because you will never do that, and no one's actually going to take it seriously, even though it's a casual approach or a mindset
Yeah.
that you want
Yeah.
to be able to present. So there are so many things. They could be small things for a lot of people, but they add up and then it becomes a huge problem. So
Mm.
this is what I've realized, that there are a lot of things that I take for granted, but actually people are actually unaware of, which is what led me to start
Yeah.
this performance studio.
That is the key. I think a lot of people are unaware of it. I don't think, I don't think they're unaware of it. I think they know, but they just don't practice it at all.
They also disregard it.
Yeah,
Some of them also
absolutely.
disregard it, thinking it's not
Yeah.
important. But the thing is, with any visual medium, you pick up on
Mm.
every single thing, and you've got no idea which something that you might think is insignificant is actually working against you. It's not working in your favor.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't realize that, and that's essentially what led me to start off with this performance studio.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, we've been running a few workshops. That's before, the whole COVID-19
Mhm.
thing started. And we've had pretty good feedback, especially from the Ministry of Women, because I focus primarily on women and how they need to up their game and to help them break the glass ceiling, by strengthening their nonverbal communication skills, basically. And exactly what you're doing. Perfect.
There's this one quote that I had heard, which I found to be very, very apt. And it said that if you empower an individual, you are actually empowering an individual. But if you empower a woman, not only are you empowering a family, you're actually empowering the entire society. And I think that makes a
Wow.
lot of sense.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
something that stuck with me as well.
Yeah. I need to get this quote off you later on and use it.
Okay, once we go offline.
Yeah.
Elaine, you're also a lawyer. So
Yes.
your law must have definitely assisted you in your various endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I knew I wanted to do from the age of 13 itself. And when I was called to the bar and when I was, done studying for the bar, I decided to give it a stop and concentrate on the stuff that I was doing in the entertainment industry. Um, but it has helped, I read all my contracts on my own. It's helped me to articulate a lot better, to think a lot better, to think on my 2 feet a lot faster. So I think that's how the law degree has helped me. And I think a lot of people have law degrees as background degrees, but then they go on to do something completely
Something else,
different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And and especially in the entertainment line, and I obviously speak from experience as well. Um, Having to actually ensure that all your contracts are in place, that's a huge, huge bonus. And there you have
absolutely.
it, just doing it yourself. You're too cool, Elaine.
Oh, please, no, man, not at all.
Okay, I've known you since you were what, 24, 25 or so. And
25,
now you have
yeah.
beautiful daughters. So how is
Oh
motherhood
my
treating you?
God. Can you see the wrinkles on my forehead?
I can't see any, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, motherhood has changed me completely. These two girls, Eva is 4, going on 5, and Mia's just in 2. And it's a juggle, it's a struggle to handle motherhood and work at the same time. But yeah, it's so much joy in having children.
How do you
Um,
find that balance between the two? Is it tough or does it come very easily?
it's very tough. When women say they have it all, I don't believe that for a second. Um, I don't think we can have it all because when you're at work, you want to be at home with the kids, and when you're at home with the kids, you're thinking about
You want
work.
to,
So
yeah.
you can't really have it all, but I try and balance it as much as I can. I have a good support system. My husband is around to help out a lot. I've got, my mom and some help as well. So that really, really enables me to do what I want to do and to do what I need to do. But at the same time, having 2 little monkeys.
I know they are so adorable. I keep seeing your posts. They're absolutely adorable, and I actually can't wait to meet them.
Yes,
Hopefully soon.
yes.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully
Hopefully
soon. Yeah.
sometime soon. So what are your future plans, Elaine? Anything specific
Um,
that you have in mind?
Well, after this COVID thing is over, I plan to, start, really empowering people through my leadup.asia. I plan to do a lot more talks, a lot more workshops, a lot more fireside chats, especially online as well.
Mhm.
Um, and we're preparing for where the Miss Malaysia Universe is concerned. We're preparing the girls for the 2020 pageant.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things on my plate actually, and I'm quite excited to do it. I mean, 2020 has just been a little bit of a blur for all of us, I think, it's like,
Absolutely. There are so many memes going around, and probably one which is most apt is, can we unsubscribe from 2020, or it doesn't count. I'm just going to delete this year. Those kinds,
yeah,
because
yeah. I got
really big
one.
hit.
Yeah, I think everybody's affected by this whole entire pandemic, you know. But I like as you said, you know, we've got to keep our spirits up. We've got to be
Yeah.
positive, and that's the only way we can do it. And I'm going to follow your advice on that. Now, Nikki, I know a lot of the finalists for this year's Miss Malaysia are watching this live as well. You know, what would you have to say to them, you know, as a previous winner, as someone who comes from a very, very big beauty pageant scene, you know, India. What would your advice be for them in this day and age to become a beauty queen?
Well, honestly, Elaine, I'd say that the first thing you need to do is to understand that it's not just a beauty pageant. It's not
Yeah.
just a title. It's more than that. This is extremely personality driven. So don't think that you actually have to mold yourself into this typical model mold. You don't necessarily have to do that. Yes, there are certain criteria which you must meet. That is important, but that's not be all and end all. At the end of the day, you are an ambassador. So you need to focus and always be aware of who you are. It is your personality and your personality alone that can help you shine and that will take you through.
Yes.
So never forget that. Do not focus on just the superficial aspects. Beauty is great, but tell me one thing. What is it that you, me, and everyone remembers? You will always remember how someone made you feel, how someone actually came across, rather than just how they looked. So visual appearance is important. I'm not saying it's not important at all. It is. You have to fit the criteria of a beauty pageant, but don't let that be your only primary focus. It is who
Mm,
you are, your confidence, your thought process, the way you think. You need to have, at least that's what I strongly believe. You need to have an innate sense of not being superficial and not being selfish.
wow,
I,
I
I
like that.
very, very strongly believe in that, because it is your vibe, it is your energy which will flow through.
Mm,
You could be saying, you could be saying absolutely everything correct and right under the sun, but if you don't connect with anyone, and that's going to come from who you are, that's not something that you will be able to train yourself in a matter of 2 months.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your personality, it's who you are, it's the energy, your vibe that will always shine through. So my advice would be to look at the entire whole package, and don't just stay glued to the superficiality or
Mm.
just what you see on the outside. So that would be my advice to anyone who wants to participate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm sure they've got some invaluable advice from you.
Oh well, I hope so. Any reflections on the past two decades? If I can, sum it up in that sense. If has it been bittersweet? Has it been extremely challenging? How has it been
I
for
think
you?
I think it's been challenging at times. You know, after I won the pageant, it's I've just been so career driven, you know,
Mm.
that you know everybody was starting to ask me, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? And that was the age-old question, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes,
do you get it too?
yeah, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and you know, after that, you know, getting married and having kids and still having to juggle, you know, it's still a challenge, you know, but I think, you know, I've got, as again, I'm saying, you know, I've got very good support system.
Mm.
I've got people to support me and you know, my husband supports my career entirely. So, you know, I get to do what I want, you know, but this last 2 decades has been bittersweet. It's been interesting, um, challenging, but you know, a lot of wonderful moments as well. Yeah. And what about
Ah,
you?
lots to be thankful for, lots to be grateful for, lots of challenges as well. Everything obviously hasn't been a bed of roses, but it never is. But I think we need it, because that's how we learn. We always learn from our mistakes. We honestly never learn from our successes. We always
Yeah,
learn from our failures, so that you know what not to do, and what it is that
absolutely.
you can improve, right? So I think bittersweet is probably just the apt word. And I was thinking about myself when I posed this question to you, which is probably why that word came across. So I think bittersweet would sum it up, pretty well.